No matter how hard Meghan Markle and Prince Harry try to silence the rumors, one controversy keeps clawing its way back into the spotlight. And this one might be the most explosive yet. A woman has come forward claiming she didn't just work for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, she gave birth to both of their children. That's right, not just one, but both. According to this woman, she's the real mother of Archie and Lilibet, and what she's revealing now could completely unravel everything Meghan has said about her pregnancies. But the most shocking part? Her story has details that even palace insiders are saying sound disturbingly real. So who is this woman? Why is she coming forward now? And what does this mean for Meghan, Harry, and the entire Sussex narrative? Let's break down the bombshell claims and what might be the most controversial royal cover-up in decades. It started with an anonymous interview posted on a small blog in late 2024. At first, no one paid much attention. The woman only identified herself as DL. No last name, no photo, no proof. She claimed she had once worked for the Sussexes and had been asked to keep a deeply personal secret. But when the blog was mysteriously taken down just 48 hours later, the rumors exploded. What exactly did she say? DL claimed she had acted as a surrogate for Meghan Markle not once, but twice. Once in 2019 for Archie, and again in 2021 for Lilibet. She alleged that she had signed a non-disclosure agreement so strict that she was terrified to speak out for years. But now, due to a personal crisis and a desire to clear her conscience, she was finally ready to tell the truth. According to DL, the entire pregnancy storyline Meghan presented to the public was a carefully orchestrated show, including the iconic photos, the staged bump appearances, and even parts of the Oprah interview. She claimed Meghan never carried either child, and that she, DL, gave birth to both. Now here's where things get strange, because even without DL's claims, fans and critics alike have long questioned Meghan's pregnancies. In fact, the surrogacy conspiracy has been floating around since 2019, when Meghan first debuted her baby bump. Let's rewind to early 2019. Meghan was seen at various public appearances with a noticeably changing belly size. One day, her bump would look huge and high. The next, it would appear smaller, lower, or even flat. Photos of her crouching, bending at sharp angles, and walking briskly in heels sparked online debate. Critics pointed out that most pregnant women, especially in the third trimester, avoid sudden movements or deep squats. Then there was the infamous bump drop moment, where Meghan's stomach appeared to shift unnaturally during a public appearance. Clips went viral. Twitter threads analyzed every frame. Some even accused her of wearing a prosthetic belly. Back then, it all seemed like wild speculation. But now, DL's story appears to back up what conspiracy theorists have been screaming for years, that Meghan's pregnancies were not what they seemed. According to DL, Meghan did not carry Archie. She did. In DL's second interview, posted to a podcast that's now mysteriously deleted from Spotify and Apple, she dropped even more specific details. This time naming Canada as the location where the initial surrogacy contract was signed. She claimed she was working as a private health aide in British Columbia in 2018, when she was contacted by an unnamed representative from a high-profile American family. She later discovered it was Meghan and Harry. The alleged deal was discreet, but legal, and involved a team of lawyers, doctors, and privacy consultants. DL says she was flown to a secure, off-the-grid location in Vancouver, where the initial stages of the pregnancy were monitored in complete secrecy. According to her, Meghan wanted full control over the narrative, including what I ate, how I exercised, and when I spoke to doctors. Every part of my life was monitored. And the most disturbing part? DL claims she was never allowed to see the baby after birth. Once Archie was born, DL says she was separated immediately, signed a fresh NDA, and wired a large payment offshore. She was told, "Your part in this is done. Don't ever contact us again." The biggest question, of course, is why Meghan would go to such lengths to fake a pregnancy if she used a surrogate. According to royal commentators, the answer may come down to status and optics. In royal tradition, pregnancy is a big deal. The appearance of carrying a royal heir is as symbolic as it is biological. Being photographed pregnant earns you global headlines. It cements your place in royal history. And Meghan, critics argue, was if Meghan had publicly announced that she was using a surrogate, it could have led to massive scrutiny. The British press would have had a field day. She might have been compared to celebrities like Kim Kardashian, who faced harsh criticism for using a surrogate. But as a royal, it would have been unprecedented and potentially scandalous. Even worse, under British law and the royal line of succession, using a surrogate could complicate a child's place in the monarchy. Some legal experts argue that unless a royal baby is born of the body of the mother, the succession may not apply in the same way. While not confirmed, it's one of many gray areas the palace has never addressed. If this is true and Meghan did use a surrogate, it could mean Archie and Lilibet aren't technically eligible for royal titles under traditional succession rules. And that would blow up everything. In hindsight, many are now watching Meghan and Harry's infamous Oprah interview through a very different lens. Remember when Oprah asked Meghan about her loneliness during pregnancy? Meghan spoke emotionally about being suicidal while pregnant with Archie. She talked about feeling isolated, unsupported, and afraid for her child's safety. At the time, it was seen as raw and brave. But now, critics are pointing out, if DL's story is true, then Meghan wasn't actually pregnant during that time at all. Does that mean her emotional account was fabricated? Or was she referring to a metaphorical pregnancy, the process of becoming a mother, even if not physically carrying the child? DL says watching that interview broke her because it erased her role from the story completely. I risked my body, my health, and my mental well-being for that family, DL said in one statement. And to watch Meghan take full credit for that journey, knowing I was the one in the hospital room, was devastating. Now fast forward to 2021, when Meghan and Harry announced the birth of their second child, Lilibet Diana. Unlike Archie's birth, which involved media chaos, Lilibet's arrival was strangely silent. The Sussexes released a simple statement saying she was born in a hospital in Santa Barbara. There were no hospital photos, no witness accounts, and no media spotted them entering or leaving the hospital. Then came the odd part. Meghan and Harry's Netflix documentary showed no footage of Meghan during the pregnancy. Instead, they showed post-birth footage of them holding a newborn, along with vague photos of baby clothes, flowers, and Harry pacing nervously. No belly shots, no pregnancy diary, nothing. DL claims that's because she, once again, carried Lilibet. This time, the pregnancy happened entirely in the US, and DL says she was moved into a private home in California under 24-hour surveillance. She says she never saw Meghan or Harry in person, only a team of intermediaries, including a stern woman who called herself Rachel. DL now believes that was Meghan's alias. Just like before, the baby was taken immediately after birth. DL was told Lilibet would be raised as a private citizen and was not to be seen or discussed in public, which now explains why, 2 years later, almost no public footage of Lilibet exists. So far, Buckingham Palace has remained totally silent on the surrogacy rumors, just as they did back in 2019 when questions about Meghan's bump first surfaced. But that silence has only fueled suspicion. And it's not just the public asking questions now. Multiple royal insiders, including former staffers and commentators, have hinted off record that there's more to the story when it comes to Meghan's pregnancies. One royal biographer claimed Meghan's pregnancy timeline never quite added up. Another said they were told by palace aides that the royal family was advised not to ask questions about Archie's birth. Even more suspicious? When Archie was born, Meghan and Harry broke royal protocol by not presenting him to the public on the hospital steps, a tradition followed by every royal mother since Princess Diana. They claimed it was to protect their privacy. But what if it was something more? What if there was no postpartum Meghan to show? If any part of DL's story is true, even one detail, it changes everything. It could mean Meghan knowingly misled the public about 2 pregnancies. It could mean both of her children were born via surrogacy, while she posed, performed, and presented a different image entirely. More than that, it could have real legal consequences. Surrogacy contracts in the US are legal but tightly regulated. If DL's claims of coercion, isolation, and restricted access to the babies are even partially accurate, they could spark investigations into the conduct of Harry and Meghan's team. And that's not even touching the royal side. If Lilibet and Archie were not carried by Meghan, then their place in the royal succession and their right to use royal titles might be questioned. Remember, King Charles officially granted both children prince and princess status in 2023. Would he have done so if he knew their births might be legally complicated? And here's the most uncomfortable truth. If DL is lying, why hasn't Meghan sued her yet? At this point, it's hard to know what's real. DL remains anonymous. Meghan and Harry are silent. The palace, as always, pretends nothing exists unless it appears in the court circular, but the questions keep piling up. The timelines don't match, the photos don't add up. The secrecy is suffocating, and in the middle of it all is a woman who says she risked everything, her body, her safety, and her sanity at a conventium to give birth to 2 royal children, and who says the people she helped are now pretending she never existed. So what's the truth? Was Meghan Markle ever pregnant? Or has the world been sold the most elaborate royal illusion of the 21st century? And if this is all just a conspiracy theory, why is everyone so afraid to talk about it? Stay tuned. Because something tells us this story is just getting started.